the most powerful weapon in a business is culture.
Culture, wow.
Today was a very good step going forward for the company.
Asking us each to individually rate ourselves out of 10.
Everyone's checking each other's boats.
It makes me excited.
Because it's like nothing you'll ever experience anywhere else.
Getting the best out of each other, you know?
Suddenly he says to me, Amy, we're setting up a meeting with the whole company. Everyone needs to join.
What now?
Steve Jobs, as again, I use this because I think he's the ultimate in setting a culture. He had two teams working on the iPhone, and the two teams didn't know about each other. It's a very famous story. And he'd go to the one office, and he'd go to the other office, and he'd check the product that they've built, and check the product that they've built. And then at one point, he realized that the one team actually had an amazing breakthrough. And that was a team that delivered the iPhone that we still have today. He goes back to the other one, he says to the other one, he says, you're all fired. Well, we're your best team, or your second best team. Why did you fire us? Let me explain to you why. Because even though they were his second best team and better than anybody else at Apple, he said, if I bring them back into the business, there's going to be resentment that they were beaten by the other team. So what are these guys going to do? They're going to try to look for faults. They're going to try and muddy the culture. And he said, I can't muddy the culture inside Apple. And so as much as I love these people, I've got to let them go. Right? Culture.
I'm Amy, and I manage Run, or I try to. Do you want to know what I did this morning? I had to stand in for 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝘁𝗃𝗃 class. I'm actually in so much pain right now, you have no idea. I have to do the whole class. Culture, wow. I think since the day I started here, culture has been a deeply ingrained word. It's almost the second most used word here after crypto.
It's a close-knit bunch of people who sharing the same dream and doing whatever it takes to make it happen.
The business of business is actually the business of culture. And the most important thing, the thing that becomes sellable, the most powerful weapon in a business is culture.
Banter culture is about winning. It's about winning at all costs. It's about supporting each other. It's about growing the community. And it's about challenging everything that's normal and mundane.
He started at the beginning of the month. Started learning how that studio works, how to do what I do. You catch up pretty quickly because you have no choice.
It's a very high-paced, high-pressure environment, right? You either got it or you don't.
And then there's the other kind, and that's the kind that actually love this kind of environment. They're high-performance people. They're independent people. They're people that can motivate themselves independently. And those people love this place. And we very, very rarely lose those kind of people.
Banter culture is number one, winning.
Brilliance or nothing.
Walk 5 miles a day.
Having a mindset that says, I am not going to let anybody beat me at my game.
Always play the ball, not the player.
See your nipples through your t-shirt.
Keep yourself and the others around you accountable.
Hey, I do this with muscle memory.
I think a lot of it is not what is your capability in the job that you've been hired for, because that you can learn, and the team is great in helping you. But
Banter is a different breed in every single level that is understandable. And again, on the good and the bad. When we say this is the Banter culture, I think it's dynamic. I think it's extremely fast. I think it's do first and think second. No, but like it's really about executing the fastest pace with brilliance?
It's hard work. I think that's that's the culture. It's hard work. It's work hard. Be your best. It's about being better than you think you can be. It's about taking you places mentally that you didn't think were possible.
The test to understand whether or not you've got a good culture is very simply, how do the people perform? How does the business perform when the leader's not around? What I realized is that you've got to have a mass of really hungry, motivated people all moving in a certain direction. That's how you create momentum in business, right? You have a bunch of talented people all moving in the same direction really, really fast. And then I thought to myself, well, what stands in the way of that? And I thought, look, we have a lot of people here that are apparently really good, should be really good, but not delivering.
So Ran had been away for a week on vacation, and just as he landed back home, he dropped a message to all the team members on the group.
Run on holiday means one thing. You're gonna get in shit when he gets back.
Asking us each to individually rate ourselves out of 10 on current performance.
Where am I actually like right now?
There's suddenly a lot of buzzing in the office. Everyone's checking each other's votes, everyone's quite stressed about it. Personally, I've taken the route of just doing it quite honestly and just putting it away. But there's a lot of strategizing, a lot of like, what did you pick? If I pick too high, he's gonna think I have an ego. If I pick too low, he's gonna think I'm lazy. There's a lot of mind games that people think he might be playing.
Yeah, a lot of the answers came back, and luckily I chose the sweet spot. I said I think I'm an 8. 8 out of 10. Leaves a little bit of room for improvement, of course. Never quite arrived, you can always get better. But also part of the reason is pacing. I viewed myself as an 8 because I run as hard as I can without completely burning out. And I think that is part of the banter culture.
I thought it was an interesting message because it's obvious that no one has been operating at an optimum level the last couple of months. In fact, I think a substandard level.
Suddenly he says to me, Amy, we're setting up a meeting with the whole company. Everyone needs to join. And I'm assuming it's going to be around the results, but we have no idea. We just all know we have to show up and be prepared.
Like, oh girl, what now? Like, what are we going to go through now?
I asked you guys a question. The question was, if 10 is the best that you can be right now, and the 10 is the best that you can operate at right now, what level are you operating at right now?
I think there were 3 people that rated themselves currently a 9 out of 10.
When Ren sent this in and it was like, where are you operating? I was like, I'm at a 9. I genuinely think I'm working 18, 19 hours a fucking day with having a kid. Like, I'm at all the conferences, I'm doing conference videos and side event videos. I'm doing a daily live show every day, plus 2 weekend shows, plus I have the 100x Club, plus I'm doing X, plus I'm doing the street, plus I'm doing, I'm like all in. But then I reduced it to 8 because I was like, there's always room for improvement. And I also think that I need more structure.
You're gonna get some guys in the business that think it's a trick, okay? And the guys are gonna answer like really low numbers and whatever. And I just looked at this thing and I was like, fuck bro. Like, I'm actually probably operating on a 9, but to be reasonable here, I'm gonna say I'm operating in an 8 because it's absolute max for me. And I literally cannot operate higher than that without sacrificing a couple of other things, you know? Something's got to give if you want to raise those numbers.
If you are a 9 or a 10 at the moment, I'm going to say 2 things. You're delusional or you're not hungry enough.
I'm glad I didn't say I was a 9, I'm happy.
A lot of people here aren't performing at their best. And then if people aren't performing at their best, you've got to ask yourself a question, why aren't people performing at their best? The answer can come down to environment.
Personally, I don't love the ping pong table. I don't really play on the ping pong table. The ping pong table drives me absolutely nuts. I can hear the till I go to bed at night. Not a fan of the ping pong table, but there's a big but. The joy that it brings into the office, the energy that it brings and creates, the banter that it creates between like Run and Josh and other Josh and Josh and Matt. I could never take that away from them. So I didn't complain about the ping pong table in my form. I'm innocent.
Or blockages that are standing in the way of the individual.
And this was interesting because I think it was time to be honest. It was time to be honest that I'm personally stuck, and I think there's a few things that are stuck within the system. And I'm kind of excited where this is going.
So I think the course for me was like ayahuasca. Like you see something that you just simply can't unsee, and honestly it actually pulls you into like a pretty rough place, I think.
In our structure, it's impossible if people are working at 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s to be a 10. It's impossible.
Today was a very good step going forward for the company, especially when it comes to culture and just getting us to being the best in the world at what we do again, right? And seeing the excitement again and Ran presenting and the alignment, it makes me excited. It makes me feel that I'm not so alone and kind of stuck anymore, and it kind of gives me something that I can start taking my first steps. This place is very overwhelming. Not just Banter, but crypto. You know, it's incredibly overwhelming. And we tend to get lost, we tend to get stuck. And to be honest, Banter is actually this playful place. It's filled of games and a lot of fun, and that's what it was designed to do.
It's always good when everyone admits to what they're not doing well, because the team can identify with that, and it helps sort of galvanize people together. So I've definitely seen a kick up in the culture.
Yeah, looking at Run, like, who's the hardest worker in Banter? Honestly, I genuinely think it's him. In terms of, he's running the show, he's running a major business as well, he's coordinating all this stuff, he's still got energy to produce the shorts, to do all these types of things. And yeah, I mean, it's quite hectic to watch, because like all the thoughts of all of that, for me trying to manage all of that stuff in my life, I'd be at an 11 on that rating page, and he's given himself a 7.
It's hard to explain because it's like nothing you'll ever experience anywhere else, especially in a work environment. It doesn't feel like work some days.
So what you do is you just say, how can I make it work better, smarter, and more efficiently, and make it not fail?
It really is all about just getting the best out of each other, you know, and having fun while doing so.
This form was such a good exercise, not only for individuals, but also for the company to understand, like, where are people struggling and how can we help people get to the next level.
In terms of how well we do, in terms of can we do any better?
The hardest workers get rewarded here, and that's really what it's about. It's about excelling, it's about being better than what you actually thought you could be. And like, this place for me personally has been like mentally quite an incredible journey, because it's pushed myself to limits I literally didn't know I was capable of.
Okay. Recruitment.
Banter's about the people, right? Like, it's not easy to do 6 shows every single day to an audience that you know are waiting to hear what you've got to say, especially when the market's been sideways and down for the better part of the year. But the culture is really what makes this place such a special place, and I think when the culture is at its best here, it's second to none. It's part of the bones of this place.
It's the culture of trying to close that extra one so you can just win the 100-meter sprint. That's the culture around here. Obsessive, compulsive champions.